Kitty cat.
All
Meow.
right, say hi, Roger.
Yeah. Roger, what's up? What's up, boy? Oh, he's tiny. Oh my god. Tiny little thing.
He's a
All
little
right.
baby boy.
Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud.
Famous Dave.
And Roger was here for a second. Roger the
Yeah,
little kitten. Yeah.
and Roger.
There we go.
We should put the camera on Roger. It's more interesting than me.
I thought you said Roger, not little David there. Hey Roger, what's up? Gee, how do you feel about bananas?
He's a big fan of bananas.
Oh my gosh. Bananas is the catnip of challenges. All right, well, let's talk about Ride or Dies, episode 5. Um, and this might be a little quick one there, Dave, because I don't remember too much. I usually watch these shows twice. One, uh, just enjoying it, and two, the second time to write my notes. This time, it's not the case, Dave. And it turns out
I
that's how
mean, I
you
remember
experience every
everything.
episode.
I remember everything. I will fill in the blanks for you, Vince. Don't worry. I mean, we're just gonna talk about like Jay and Michelle and kind of their pick of four teams,
Right.
to go in.
Yeah.
Whether
Um,
we agree with their decisions.
true.
Because quite frankly, I've only watched the episode once and I've forgotten everything other than that. So
Wait, so you're saying you completely forgot Jay and Jack's penned punk song, emo song, I mean, whatever it
yeah,
was called.
yeah. It was pretty good. I gotta say. Oh, one thing I felt a couple episodes ago, and then this episode as well, the music selection was really good. They had like Panic at the Disco, and then some other song towards the end, like in the elimination or something. They like their song selections were really good, I thought.
Oh wow. I didn't even notice. I guess I don't go too deep with Panic at the Disco. If it's not fucking uh I burst in telling everyone to shut the damn door or whatever the fuck that song is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Classic. Come on.
No, I mean I'm saying I like that song, but that song wasn't in the episode. It was another track from them, right?
No, that was the song.
When? Where? I don't remember that.
I don't know. Like right after them doing they did the emo song, and then I don't know if it was like when they went to the club or whenever. I don't know. Sometime in the
Really?
episode
Oh
they
my
played that
god.
exact song.
Maybe when they were eating Burger King, they're like, "I roasted." They were all singing
Yeah.
that song.
Someone close the goddamn door. I Burger King.
And by the way, when they get there and all that Burger King is there, I'm like, "Oh, the president is here!" Oh my god. No, what I actually thought was like, when were these lied out? Because they're gonna be cold. Like if they serve, you know what I mean?
There's no way those fries are hot and fresh. Like I know the burgers, they just microwave that shit. So
Yeah, like how long was the fucking the drive, the delivery, you know?
oh yeah.
Unless
Do you think they tipped the DoorDash driver?
yeah, really. Unless does Burger King do whatchamacallits? What are they called? When they serve you at your party, what is that called?
Catering?
Yeah,
Some Burger King catering.
yeah. That'd
Yeah.
be kind of cool, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Uh
Yeah, they're eating the chicken nuggets, and I'm like, okay, cold chicken nuggets are the worst. It's gonna be terrible.
let's move on to the mission itself, Royal Relay. And I gotta say, man, you know, this is gonna be a lot of swimming and rowing, and then well, that's about it. But to me, I'm like, this is probably the best mission of the season so far. Uh, it it really let people know where people stand. In a way, kind of like a mini final, I suppose. Yeah,
Yeah, it was the best thing I've seen all year. Like I love it when it's it has multiple parts to it, like there's a swimming portion, the rowing portion, then a puzzle portion, and like both people had to participate in it. Um, only one person had to row. Like once they're in the boats, the other person is kind of just there to balance the boat. But
Well, they had to take turns though rowing though, right? Like one went to here and then the other one rowed back.
oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
All right.
yeah. They all had a chance to row. Um, but Burger King is like $5,000 each to the winner. That's pretty sweet. And all I have written down is Michelle and Jay win their first heat. Tori and Devin win their second heat. Um, and I was just really impressed. I don't remember any specific. Do you remember any specific performances you wanted to point out?
Kim and Colleen, like Kim was destroying it with the rowing.
Yeah,
He was
that's
like
right.
a freaking Viking out there, just freaking rowing, and it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's true. Very true.
However, I think on the swimming part, I don't think they did as well, or the puzzle part, I'm not sure.
I don't know if it was a puzzle. I think you just had pieces and you just put them in place. I think.
Oh, yeah, that sounds right.
I mean, if that's a puzzle, that's the most rudimentary puzzle I've ever seen. That's like testing someone's cognitive skills. They're like, "Can you get the block through the block hole?" No,
Yeah.
that's the circle. That's the circle.
No, that's the triangle hole. No.
uh, I don't know. I was expecting Dory. That's Tori and Devin's partner name,
Ooh,
man.
Dory. Yeah.
But instead, Giselle won, or is it May? I don't know.
J Shell.
J Shell. Yeah, J
Yeah.
Shell,
Well,
man.
I mean, I think it's worth mentioning some of the funny, stupid things that people were doing where they weren't good at swimming. So, like, Veronica is like trying to like backstroke there,
Varel.
but
Varel.
well, I thought Veronica was too.
That's their partner name, Varel.
Oh, Varel. Yeah. So, so she thinks she's like swimming towards like the puzzle piece, whatever, to grab that metal triangle, but she's like going the wrong direction and she's just drifting off into the water, but she doesn't realize it, and he's like hollering at her like, "Hey, look where you're going."
Yeah, he's yelling out V. I'm like, maybe that could be misinterpreted as like something else, like C or please or something. You know what I mean? Maybe she didn't hear you yelling V. Like yell out her full name is what I was thinking. I don't know.
I think her ears are probably underwater, and just the splashing of the water right next to you can't really hear anything.
And she's getting up there. I mean, no offense to that ass. I'd still tap it, but yeah, she's
You're at the first of the line, Vince.
no way, man. And if I am good, and in fact, I'm gonna lift the ladder. I don't want anyone. But what else happened? Interesting thing that happened with Aorden, Anissa Jordan,
Okay,
or
getting
Janisa.
confusing.
Um,
Janisa?
I just remember Jordan, he only has the one hand, so he was kind of struggling a little bit. But eventually he was able to do it. But I remember Anissa like crying. She was like, "It's fucking beautiful." I don't know. It's so weird. Like Tori and Anissa have been like very teary-eyed when it comes to Jordan and Anissa working together. I don't know why. I think maybe it's because they're now considered to be uber underdogs because Jordan's one hand and Anissa's Anissa.
Oh yeah.
um this is my only joke, I guess. Kim and Colleen, or as we call them now, Colleen. All right. So Michelle
Okay,
and
good
Jay
dad
win.
joke.
Yeah, they're like, Vince, you could get rid of the dad pants, but if you're coming with those dad jokes, come on.
Let me. What color socks are you wearing?
What color? Oh my
Yeah.
god, is that a thing now? The color?
What?
They're white. More
Yeah,
awkward
and
than anything
and you're wearing sandals with them too, right?
else. Hold on. No.
Okay, starting to worry about you.
Yeah. I'm just gonna stick these sandals into my cargo shorts here. All right. But Michelle and Jay win. Again, I was talking about like they have a winner's edit. So spoilers, whatever decisions that they make throughout this episode, and they could be like head scratchers or annoying or infuriating, or you're like, no, I agree. I'm like, I gotta fucking go with them because I feel like they're gonna fucking win this thing. So I feel like
Really?
yeah, no, dude, I swear to God, just on a hunch or just the editing, and that's not an invite for fucking people out there to be like, oh, well, you're right or you're wrong. I'm not asking for a spoiler. You know what I mean? I'm just saying the winner's edit is real, and I feel it strong with these two guys. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. It's possible. Like, I don't know. I used to really try and pay attention to that, and now to me it seems like I just noticed the edit of the episodes where like the first person they cut to is like Jay and Michelle, and then they cut to like Laurel, and you're just like, okay, this entire episode is about them, and it was.
For sure. Let's get into that part. The interrogation. So Jay and Michelle, they have to call out four people. We're just gonna go through the four and go that way. First is Darrell and Veronica. I mean, Varel, yeah. And Veronica's like, hey, this doesn't make any sense. Like, you guys kind of put two rookies and two veterans at the same time. Like, who are you trying to bust up? I don't know. The way she kind of put it was like, this doesn't make any sense. But at the same time, it doesn't matter what any of these people say, right? It's all luck now. All four, any of those two out of any half could go in. You never know why. And that's the big thing. It's like this is the most, and we said this already, this is the most double-edged power you can get for winning these things, you know?
Yeah, because the fact it's not like you're calling out one team and you're pissing off one team or even two teams. You're pissing off four separate teams. So it's there's not a lot of winning, this and they try to, I don't know, Jay and Michelle, they kind of get cute with their choices. But Darrell and Veronica, that makes sense as a team because they came in late. They went in like last week, they got voted in. So it's kind of like no, we're just kind of continuing a trend of like everyone put them in before. So we'll just do the same thing.
I feel so annoyed by that because they're like, oh, Darrell and Veronica, you guys were late. Yeah, well, before that, were you gonna all everyone put Jordan in Anissa? Or before that, it was gonna be Bananas and Nani? Come on, man. And they're only 3 episodes late. I don't know. I don't know. I always felt that was really bizarre, but that's gonna be happening anyways. And I think,
It is a cop out answer for sure.
yeah,
Or a cop out reason. But that's what they do a lot of times, where they're just like, "Oh, we're gonna put Jay in because Jay saved Johnny and Raven."
right. Um, but let's just move on for now to Anissa and Jordan. Uh, I think they didn't get mad or anything. They weren't annoying like some people are gonna be. They were just like, yeah, sure, right? Like I don't remember them making a big fuss out of it because I think
Well,
Michelle just says to everyone, "We haven't talked game."
yeah,
Yeah,
and like they know that they're like a veteran team, and they're not like Jay and Michelle are like the weird middle ground team because they're not rookies, but they're not tenured enough to be like with all of the veterans who have been there for 6 seasons or more. They're kind of on like season 2 or 3. So
yeah, exactly. And next is Colleen and Kim. and they're just like, this is the what? No, they were kind of surprised because they're like, didn't we try and do like a rookie revolution?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not understand them calling Kim and Colleen at all. It doesn't make any sense to me because it seems like they're one of the teams that will get called down there a lot, and they should kind of be making a deal with Jay and Michelle because if Jay and Michelle get called in next week, it'd be nice to have a team that you're aligned with down there, so then maybe you could get saved.
Yeah, I don't remember why they were called out. I don't remember the reasonings at all. I do think that Jay might have given a little bit more power to Michelle. He's a little bit more like, you make the decision. You know what I mean? I'm not sure though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what it was. Is neither Jay or Michelle wanted to make a choice. Where they're like, Michelle's like, I can't decide. You just pick. And then Jay like pauses for like 5 seconds. He's like, just go with your gut, whatever you want. And it was just like, okay, somebody has to fucking make a decision here. And she's just like, well, I'll go with my instinct. My instinct is usually right, you know? It's like, oh, well, how about you like think about it, use some thoughts rather than just going with instinct. Like, let's come up with a like verbalize a reason for what you're doing so that way you can explain it to people rather than it just seemed like the right thing to do.
Let's get into the fourth one, and this is all instinct, as some people might say, where she's like, Laurel and Jack. She's like, I don't think Laurel and I are on the same page, which, by the way, I want to say they aren't. Okay. Even though Laurel, okay, let's get into this chronologically because Laurel and Jack sit down and they're like, okay, you might wonder why we're here or whatever. And Laurel and Jack go like this. To me, I'm like, that is maturity right there. I'm like, oh my God, let it flow over me. And Laurel, it just reminds me of like the opposite version of her when she thought she beat Ninja on that tree
Oh
and just
yeah.
like, just like obnoxious. But this time she's not doing any of that, yet she's still obnoxious, Dave.
It's kind of strategy. She doesn't want to bury herself by talking. Like because
Yeah,
she
but
knows if she speaks up and says her mind, it's
uh,
really gonna piss off Michelle because Laurel knows that like once she starts talking, like the insults are coming, she's gonna start being super condescending and just like attacking her. So Laurel, her only defense is to just like, I plead the fifth, not gonna say a word. And she does that even later when Michelle like, hey, like we didn't say anything in the interrogation. Like I just want to, open a dialogue here and see what's going on. And Laurel's just like, no, I'm not saying anything.
well, I mean, she does go off then where she's like, but again, it's stuff that we've already stated in this episode. She's like, if you want a conversation, you don't call us into interrogation because now we're going in. Like there's a big chance of us going in. And she's really mad about that. She's like, how, like almost saying like, how dumb are you? Like, don't put me into interrogation if you want to have a conversation. The thing is that everyone is used to having power and then getting a meeting and saying like, what can you do for us? This is different because you can't, once you're in those four spots in interrogation, it's like you're fucked. Like it's impossible not to be angry is the thing. It's so double-edged. Like I'm wondering now when this happens, I'm like, God damn it. Like what if Bananas and Nani are like, oh, let's not win so much anymore. Let's pull a Nelson. You know what I mean? Like everyone wants to
Oh
pull a
yeah.
Nelson. That's why Nelson won. Like everyone was like, no, let's stay in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it really seems like because well, the big thing was they didn't put in Bananas and Nani, which we thought, Jay and Michelle were probably going to put in a lot of vet teams. So it seemed like they would put in Bananas and Nani over Kim and Colleen, someone who they were kind of working with. But it seems to me like as I'm like looking at the teams that they put in, Jay and Michelle, their goal seemed to be that they wanted to get rid of strong players that they felt threatened by. So Michelle was threatened by Laurel. She thinks she's a good competitor, so she wanted Laurel out. And then Jay, Darrell is a strong player. Jordan is a strong player, and then also Kim is a strong player. So Jay, he wants all those guys gone. But Bananas, I think Jay feels like Bananas and him are more of an equal match because they're both shorter. They're not like big, strong guys. I feel like Jay thinks like, well, in a one-on-one, I'm comfortable going against Bananas because we're like in the same weight class at least. So it made sense like matchup wise, like they didn't want those certain people to be going further on in the game. But like politically, it seemed so wishy-washy that it was like they kind of pissed off vets, but then they also pissed off like the rookies. They didn't, so it's like they don't stand with anyone. They're kind of just rogue as a team, which, it seems like that's going to put a target on their back in the future because whether, a rookie team wins or a vet team wins, like Jay and Michelle are probably going into the draw.
Well, do you? Uh, yeah, I mean, but I guess I'm wondering is like, do you think when Bananas and Nani saw that their names weren't up there, they were all like, "Oh, I thought we were going in," and like they both thought. So no one's around, right? Everyone left, and they're just like, "I guess we owe them one." And I'm like, really? Like, I don't know. Maybe they're just saying it because the cameras are right there, but I'm like, I don't trust them to throw back the favor, but they said it and they seemed genuinely like shocked that they weren't going in. Maybe it truly is going to pay off, you know.
It could, because if you look at like all the vet teams, you have like Casey and Fessy and Nelson, like, and so you have the kind of big brother, but then also Nelson as well. Like they kind of work together and they're all like friendly and get along. So I feel like if those teams win, they're not really aligned with like Darrell. Those vet teams aren't aligned with like Darrell and Bananas and really even Jordan. Like it's once you look at all the vet teams and you try and like split the lines on whose side, like it could be helpful to be like, hey, we're trying to like foresee the future when it's just the vet teams left. Like, what side of the alliance do we kind of want to put ourselves with?
Yeah,
So it could definitely be helpful for their future, 2, 3 episodes down the line.
yeah. um, I also okay. So one last thing about the interrogation. Jack was quiet. He was doing the Laurel thing. And then finally, he talks a little bit more. He's like, Jay, like I thought we were friends or whatever, right? And his fucking guy liners running. Actually, it's not at all. Like he doesn't really do too much. In fact, Jay and Jack have a conversation afterwards, and Jack is just being like, "Hey, man, I get it," or whatever. And so, but in confessional, Jack is like, "Yeah, I'm just being a complete fucking two face right now. I'm not showing that I'm actually mad at him and stuff." And he's talking to Laura. It's like, "Yeah, I'm just pretending like we're still friends, and I'm being jokey and Jack and stuff like that." And I'm like, "Ew, gross, Jack." Like, fucking, like maybe not be a fucking snake, even though you may feel like you're in the right to be mad, but the fact that you're just telling everyone like, yeah, I'm just pretending with Jay now, like, ugh, gross.
I
Are we ready
appreciated it because I really can't stand when people just like give this phony outrage. And we see that so much on the challenge. But like this season, like there's no phony outrage. Everyone's like very restrained. Like Laurel is restrained, Jack is restrained. They're not like acting like super pissed off all the time and slighted. And I'm like, okay, it's a change of pace because like in other seasons, it's usually the opposite. When like in the All-Star seasons, like Veronica, if she gets like put in, Veronica just goes fucking bonkers and gets upset. It's nice to have somebody just be chill when they get put in.
but the no, what I'm getting at is that he is pissed, but he is being fake. He's being fake
Exactly.
nice. And I
I'd
feel
rather
like
you be
that is
fake nice than fake angry, though.
What are you talking? Oh my god! All right, whatever. I think the fact that I brought up fake, you're like, yeah, well, there could be fake anger and shit like that. No, I mean, whatever. Let's get into the zone, dude.
All
Um,
right.
so okay,
Oh,
so
can we mention how stupid the name The Zone is?
there,
I don't think we've talked about this.
I don't think the arena elimination has been named anything cool for a while. It's like the spot. Well, it was never the spot, but like the
The
circle.
Presidio.
Ooh, that was
That
a
that
little
was lame.
classy.
It was a little pretentious.
Yeah, but that was in some other country where I'm sure Presidio means something cool, man.
No, it was like lies. It was like double agents or something, I think. I don't know. It was corny, I thought.
Yeah, it's been a while since it's been a cool name. I can't even remember the last time it was. Maybe fuck. I don't remember. I don't remember at all. The
Yeah, I wish
crater.
it would just go with what's that?
I thought the crater was kind of cool, or at least it
Yeah,
looked cool.
I
Yeah.
like the creator.
Yeah.
I just prefer them to just call it like going down to the arena because it's just if you're gonna give it a generic stupid name, just call it that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, ideally it would be called, the Inferno in the Inferno or Jungle. Like, you know, those are cool names to me. So if they're not gonna, I feel like even if you're not gonna bring that season back, at least bring back that name.
It's I always had a weird feeling about the jungle where I'm like, why don't you call it the woods or the bushes? The sticks. The
Well,
sticks.
it's like the Guns N' Roses song, right?
All
Like Welcome
right.
to the
Yeah.
Jungle.
I'll give that to
That's the
you.
only reason I like it.
Yeah, but no one ever said welcome to the jungle. Well, no, I guess one title was called Welcome to the Jungle. I believe it was Rivals 2, episode 1.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into the zone. Isn't that a new Pizza Hut thing for fuck's sake?
Pizzone.
Oh, the Pizzone. Oh, okay.
It's close enough.
What is in that Pizzone? Presidio. So, anyways, fucking Michelle and Jay put in Laurel and Jack for sure. It is 100% because Laurel was so fucking hostile with Michelle. She like, afterwards she was like, "Oh, I just wanted to have a conversation." And she's like, "You asked beforehand, not in the interrogation," and blah blah blah. But it's like there there was no sense that Laurel was going to reach olive branch out to them before or after. You know what I mean? Like it might have been in Michelle's head, but it's also confirmed. I don't know. I feel like their Laurel and her weren't going to work out. And Michelle, if she's truly wants to win, Laurel is your number one. Where like get her out of here. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, a
Hmm.
female to female perspective, I'd be like get her out of here. So I don't know. Like I said, they get a lot of shit this episode, but I'm like I don't know. It's
It's
everyone's gonna get shit.
yeah. Like Michelle gave Laurel the opportunity, when she went up to her later and was like, "Hey, let's try and clear the air here." Laurel had the opportunity if she wanted to humble herself to be like, "Hey, let's work out a deal. If you don't put me in, then, I promise I won't put you in." Michelle was trying to give her an opportunity to do something like that because I think Michelle would have put in Jordan and Anissa or Darrell and Veronica. Like I don't think it was like a set in stone, like they had to put in Laurel. But Laurel, she wouldn't say anything. She wouldn't really open up, and then she was very standoffish. So that kind of sealed her fate.
So let's get into the sword picking. Which, by the way, what does pulling knives out of something from the zone like? It clashes, right? Make it tie together. Like call the zone the stone, and you got to pull the knife out of the stone, the sword out of the stone. You know what I mean? And then you get a fucking crown, and then Merlin shows up, and he's like,
Right. Well, maybe call it like the pit. I don't remember what season called it the pit, but it's like you have like a fighting pit where you sword fight. I don't know.
right. Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, but it's so specific. Pull a sword out of a stone. Come on, you gotta work that in somehow. Or maybe it shouldn't have been stones. Maybe it should have been a giant statue of a person and with knives in his back, and you got to pull out one.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool. So, anyways, this is what happens. Darrell and Veronica, they get the safe knife. How did you feel their pick between Anissa and Jordan and Colleen and Kim?
Um, I thought, well, if it made sense, like what Darrell was saying, where he's like, we should probably save Kim and Colleen because if they're going to be down here in the draw all the time and we're going to be down here in the draw all the time, we need to have each other's back to try and save each other. It makes perfect, like, logical sense in the gameplay. But it seemed like Veronica probably overruled that because Veronica's like, I have to live in this fucking house with Anissa. And if she comes back, like Anissa's gonna make my life a living hell if we don't do her this favor. And Veronica, she verbalized it was like, Anissa, we really haven't talked game, and you really don't deserve to be saved in this situation. But I'm gonna do it just because you're gonna be a fucking headache to me. That's what
She
it seemed
doesn't,
like to me.
she doesn't say the headache part, but she does save her. And I was like, Veronica, what are you doing? Like, first of all, Anissa is the most non-trustworthy player ever. You know? Oh my God. You might as well have saved Nani, which is what Jay Michelle did technically. I don't know. These were I like the mission basically, and then all the decisions made me like, oh, what is going on? Like I thought I was gonna watch something happen, like Anissa and Jordan versus Laurel and Jack would have been fucking awesome. That's a good. That's a that's a good bout right there. Get rid of one of those two good teams, potentially good. Yeah.
Yeah, I was very hopeful that Veronica and Darrell or Jordan and Anissa. I was hopeful that one of those vet teams was going to go in there too. I was very disappointed when it was Kim and Colleen heading down there. That was
Yeah.
that was worst case scenario because Kim and Colleen seemed like the one team that shouldn't have even been in the draw. It seemed to me like if Jay and Michelle, they shouldn't have put them in. Like I understand you don't want to put in bananas because you want to like work out a favor and like maybe work together in the future. At least they're extending an olive branch to work with them, even though they've gotten stabbed in the back by them before. But putting in Kim and Colleen didn't make sense because it's like you could have put down like Fessy and Mariah, even like Devin and Tori. I think maybe Jay and Devin might be friends. They don't mention it at all, but
They
like
never
that's
had
kind of
a they never had an emo song either, so we don't know.
true. But maybe Jay felt like he was a little cornered into doing that emo song. Maybe he wasn't digging it.
He's like, yeah, I liked it when in 2013, bro. I
Yeah,
moved
yeah.
on.
I grew out of it. I can't do my bangs anymore. My hairline has receded so far. I don't have bangs.
That's awesome. All right, let's get into the elimination. Give me some slack. This is kind of cool. If you have to do it, it's a puzzle, but you're on ropes. If Laurel climbs up, then Jack is lowered, and vice versa. And you got to put a
Yeah,
puzzle together. And it sucks, man. Fucking Kim and Colleen, they got it just fine, but they got something wrong. So they didn't know what they got wrong, so they had to check everything. And at first, Laurel and Jack were kind of like they were like Laurel was like real snippy, real snappy at Jack.
oh yeah. Well, because it seemed like, oh, with this puzzle, they have to communicate really well. And I'm like, who's going to be better at communicating? I'm like, Kim and Colleen, who are like bilingual or trilingual, like they can speak different languages. Like they're going to be fine at communicating. Laurel, she can't communicate with shit. Like she's always angry. Her emotions are always in the way. Like generally, so it's just like, I was totally expecting Laurel and Jack to just have a meltdown and not be able to do it. But it was they were super steady. They just kept going at it. And Kim and Colleen, they screwed up and they missed one piece and then it just took them forever to go through it all. I thought they would, just maybe redo like a row, then ask for a check But I feel like there are rules to how many times you can like say pause, check, and then have TJ and the producers look at your answer. There
Yeah.
has to be like some type of unwritten rule of like we'll only let you check it like every 3 minutes or 2 minutes or something.
The other thing you mentioned them being bilingual. Uh, I wonder if producers told them, "Hey, speak in English, all right? Know where you're at." We're like, "We're in Argentina. That doesn't make any sense." They're like, "You get what we're
Yeah.
saying. You're on an American TV show. We don't want to fucking go and decipher everything you're saying and print it out in subtitles. Talk American." Because Colleen and Kim, what if they were like nine nine, uh, talking German, Scheiße, like what if they could communicate better instead of having to speak a second language? You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I doubt they were policing like what language they were speaking in.
Okay, then why did I don't know, dude. Think about it. Like you never like the only time I've ever heard anyone speak a different language that was their own was Josh Martinez and some other dude. Remember they were speaking Spanish, I believe. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't remember
Uh,
that.
the other guy was God, I don't remember who the other guy was, but yeah, that was the only time they were speaking non-English, and I don't believe it was subtitled either. And I believe producers were like, "Fuck that, man. We're Americans." Yeah. But anyways, Colleen and Kim, they're fucking god, man. And it
I know
sucks.
it sucks. They
Yeah,
were
they
the
were
best
picked.
rookie team.
They
Like
were, they
Johnny
were,
and Raven were amazing too, but they went home,
yeah,
already. So this is like the second rookie team that was amazing to go home. It's a bummer because it's like everything seemed to be like geared against the rookies. And then with Jay and Michelle winning, it seemed like, oh, okay, this can work in the rookies' favor. But then they still decided to put them in. So it was just like a knife in the back of me, like a fan of the rookies. To this, like, even when I think like someone's in power that could help them out, it doesn't work that way.
yeah, exactly. This sucks. But they're going back to Germany. Like, yeah, when that damn wall went down. Nine. Oh, wait, was there a Berlin Wall?
Yeah, the Berlin Wall. You know what was stupid? You know what was stupid? Is the fact that they're doing a puzzle, but the puzzle pieces are on a wall, and the entire cast of the house cannot see the puzzle, so they can't yell any answers to anybody. But when Turbo was down there, the entire house was yelling out the answers to make sure he lost.
It's
And
true.
I will continue, I will gripe about that every fucking episode until anytime there's a puzzle and an elimination, they're always set up like in a way where it's like, well, the audience can't really help at all. Except for that one episode where Turbo was down there. They made sure the audience could help. So
Yeah.
rigged.
It's so great that Nani's first time there and only time so far in power, she gets rid of her friend Turbo. And it's so funny. I wrote that down, or I commented on a YouTube clip on YouTube. They were like, uh, Turbo in elimination. You know what I mean? And I wrote down like, oh man, hopefully Nani never calls me a friend because she'll just put you in like she did Jenna, right? And then it
Yep.
got some likes. Then someone was like, Nani gave him the chance, but he decided to play with his ego. She's been doing this for 15 seasons. She knows what she's doing. I didn't respond, but god damn it, did I have a response in my mouth and mind. I was like, oh, 15 seasons. And how many wins is that? It doesn't matter how many times you've done the show. Fucking Anissa doesn't know what she's doing either. Like they're the same. I don't know. I was ready to go off, but I'm like, no, I was holding back my fingers and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like Turbo, he won his very first season.
Yeah.
And
Um,
you know what? In that argument between Nani and Turbo, Turbo was the one trying to walk away, and Nani is putting her arms around him, not letting him leave.
yeah.
If it was the other way around, like imagine the shit storm. Like because people are giving Turbo shit about how he's acting. It's like, yeah, Turbo is like a super sensitive guy and he takes everything personally. I get that, but like Nani is not being aware of who Turbo is as a person. She is allegedly his friend. She should know his personality and like his tendencies. So acting the way she acted, she was provoking him, and he was aware of that, and it angered him and pissed him off.
Right. Was it War of the Worlds one? Who? Oh, fuck. Remember when D was like, "Stop being aggressive," and the
Oh
one
yeah.
dude was like, he was just sitting there. He's like, "I'm not," you know. I don't remember who that was. It wasn't Turbo. Was it
Was
Turbo?
it?
I don't know.
I don't know. Was it Rogan? I know she had that thing with Rogan that season with that.
It wasn't Rogan. Fuck. But either way, I remember that where like the girl is like, "Stop it! You're being so," and not, Nani was doing the same thing with Turbo. Turbo's like, "I want to leave," and she's like, "No, you're gonna sit. Let me finish my sentence," and shit like that. Like, oh my god. Anyways, Dave, that never happened this episode. We're in the past. We got to move on.
I cannot move on from that.
I really can't either. That was so annoying. God damn it. But hey, man, that was the end of the episode. Looking forward to the next episode. If the missions get better like this, it'll be a lot of fun. So like, subscribe, comment. This is Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud.
Famous Dave and Roger. Oh, I just woke him up.